Mom had always been the balance, the soft hand that protected us. With her gone, there was nothing to soften Dad's harshness. At 15, David fell seriously ill. He collapsed at school during practice. It turned out he had a rare blood disorder, and without a transfusion, he could die. The doctor explained clearly.
Sir, you're a match. We need you to donate blood immediately.
But Dad folded his arms and said,
He's not my son. He's adopted. Find someone else.
I remember the doctor staring at him, stunned. But I stepped forward. Take mine. He's my brother. The transfusion saved David's life. After that, our bond was sealed forever. 3 years later, on the morning of David's 18th birthday, I expected to wake up to the smell of cake, or at least a small celebration. Mom would have done that. But instead, I heard Dad's heavy footsteps stomping down the hallway. He burst into David's room at 6 a.m., his face twisted with contempt.
Get up. You're 18 now. That means you're not my responsibility anymore.
David sat up, rubbing his eyes, confused.
Dad, it's my birthday. Can't we at least... Birthday? You think I'm wasting money celebrating the day some stranger's mistake landed in my house? Pack your things and get out.
I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding. My name is Alina, and if there's one thing I learned early, it's that family isn't just about blood. My parents had struggled for years after marriage to have a baby. Mom told me once that she spent nights crying into her pillow while Dad just shrugged, saying maybe it wasn't meant to be. But Mom refused to give up on her dream of having a child. After many failed treatments and doctor visits, they decided to adopt. That's how David came into our lives. A 7-year-old boy with bright eyes and a quiet smile. He was timid at first, afraid to trust, but Mom loved him deeply, and soon he bloomed. Then, miraculously, 2 years later, Mom became pregnant with me. Everyone said it was a blessing, but that miracle also became the dividing line in our family. From the very beginning, Dad made it clear I was his real child. But David never made me feel like I was competing for love. He became my hero. He taught me to read, held my hand when I was scared, and even carried me to school on his rusty bicycle. Once when I was 7, a group of boys surrounded me at school making fun of my braids and calling me ugly. David, who was 13 then, came storming in like a lion.
Touch her again and I'll make you regret it.
The boys scattered. That was the kind of brother he was. Blood or not, he was family in every way that mattered. But Dad? He always drew the line. When David asked for new shoes, Dad said coldly,
Secondhand shoes will do for you.
When I needed something, he always found a way to provide. But David was brushed aside, dismissed like he didn't deserve better. After Mom passed away, it got worse. I was 9. David was 16. Dad seemed to blame David for everything. Once, when David accidentally broke a glass while washing dishes, Dad slapped him so hard his lip bled.
You're nothing but a clumsy mistake. We should never have brought into this house.
Another time, when David was accepted into the school's football team and needed some money for a kit, Dad laughed in his face.
Why waste money on you? You'll never be good at anything.
Mom had always been the balance, the soft hand that protected us. With her gone, there was nothing to soften Dad's harshness. At 15, David fell seriously ill. He collapsed at school during practice. It turned out he had a rare blood disorder, and without a transfusion, he could die. The doctor explained clearly.
Sir, you're a match. We need you to donate blood immediately.
But Dad folded his arms and said,
He's not my son. He's adopted. Find someone else.
I remember the doctor staring at him, stunned. But I stepped forward. Take mine. He's my brother. The transfusion saved David's life. After that, our bond was sealed forever. 3 years later, on the morning of David's 18th birthday, I expected to wake up to the smell of cake, or at least a small celebration. Mom would have done that. But instead, I heard Dad's heavy footsteps stomping down the hallway. He burst into David's room at 6 a.m., his face twisted with contempt.
Get up. You're 18 now. That means you're not my responsibility anymore.
David sat up, rubbing his eyes, confused.
Dad, it's my birthday. Can't we at least... Birthday? You think I'm wasting money celebrating the day some stranger's mistake landed in my house? Pack your things and get out.
I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding, watching as Dad threw a suitcase onto David's bed.
Secondhand clothes are all you'll ever need. Take them and leave.
David's hands trembled as he stuffed his few belongings into the suitcase. He looked at me, his eyes shining with pain, then back at Dad.
I never asked to be here. Mom wanted me. She's the only one who ever treated me like her son. Don't you dare mention her. You're nothing to me. Get out before I throw you out.
He shoved David toward the door, slamming it behind him. I pressed my face against the window, tears streaming down my cheeks as I watched my brother walk away, his shoulders heavy with grief. After David left, Dad changed. He became even lazier, even more stingy. He stopped working entirely and started leaning on me for everything. When I was 16 and my sneakers had holes, I asked for new ones.
They're still good. Stop wasting money.
He patched them with duct tape and expected me to wear them proudly. Once, when we ran out of milk, he poured water into the carton to make it last. Another time, when I craved a birthday cake, he gave me a pack of stale biscuits and said,
Cake is too expensive. Sugar's bad for you anyway.
At 22, Dad sat me down one evening. His face was grave.
Sweetheart, I have cancer. The doctors say I don't have long.
Tears filled my eyes. Despite everything, he was still my father. No. Dad, are you serious?
I need you to take care of me. Hospital bills, food, everything. You're all I've got.
I believed him. Like a fool, I took on the burden. I worked 2 jobs to pay the rent, the bills, the food. I bought his medication, which I later realized was nothing but vitamins. I cleaned, cooked, washed him, all while he sat there comfortable. But something felt off. He never lost weight. He never looked weak. He ate more than ever. One day, digging behind the house to plant flowers, I found a box buried under the dirt. Inside were stacks of cash wrapped in rubber bands, thousands. You don't have cancer, do you?
So what if I don't? You still did your duty as a daughter.
I've been breaking my back while you sit here hiding money underground?
That's right, and you're too soft to ever walk away.
But he was wrong. I packed my bags the next morning and moved in with David, who was now a successful businessman.
I told you, sis. He doesn't deserve you.
Dad later developed a small infection in his foot, but instead of using the money he had hoarded behind the house, he chose to save it. He refused to go to a real hospital and instead went to a cheap, unlicensed doctor.
Don't worry, old man. I'll take good care of you. No need to waste money on expensive hospitals.
The infection was minor and only needed simple medication, but the quack doctor put him under anesthesia. When Dad woke up, he discovered his leg had been amputated.
What have you done? I'll report you for this.
But before he could, the doctor fled the state. Limping and devastated, Dad returned home, only to discover that the money he had buried in the backyard had been stolen. Every last bill was gone. Broken. He tried reaching out to me and David, begging for help, but we cut him off. Alone and humiliated, he fell into a dark depression. Neighbors said he stopped eating, stopped speaking. And then, one night, he took his own life. Do I feel guilty? No, he chose this path. He hoarded love like he hoarded money, burying it until it rotted. David and I, on the other hand, are closer than ever. He's my brother, my family, and nothing will change that. And that's the story of how my stingy father faked cancer, lost everything, and ended up paying the ultimate price. Guess money doesn't grow legs, especially if you get the wrong one amputated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because unlike my dad, I actually share the good stuff.